A Bitcoin mining company pivots to AI infrastructure and lands a $9.7 billion contract with Microsoft. A company born in renewable-powered Bitcoin mining, now racing to deliver gigawatt-scale, liquid-cooled data centers for artificial intelligence. IREN Limited, formerly Iris Energy, went from struggling through the crypto winter to becoming one of the hottest AI infrastructure plays in the market. The stock is up over 600% in the last 12 months. They're building a 2.9 gigawatt power infrastructure empire powered by 100% renewable energy. They've secured massive GPU orders from Dell. They're competing head-to-head with CoreWeave and Applied Digital for the massive AI compute boom. A few weeks ago, we analyzed Applied Digital. Today, we're looking at one of their main competitors, IREN Limited, a company that's been making major noise this year, driven by the AI infrastructure boom. It has undergone a significant strategic transformation, pivoting from being primarily a Bitcoin mining operator to becoming a next-generation data center infrastructure provider for artificial intelligence. But here's the catch. They're committing $5.8 billion in CapEx to buy GPUs. They need to energize a 1.4 gigawatt substation by April 2026. One delay, one execution misstep, and this entire growth story could collapse. Welcome back to the Capital Navigator, the channel where we explore the history, strategies, business models, and investment opportunities offered by the world's most influential companies. We'll cover IREN's origins and transformation, the dual business model combining Bitcoin mining and AI cloud services, the impressive financial turnaround from massive losses to profitability, the explosive stock performance, and critically, the execution risks that could make or break this growth story. This is the story of IREN Limited. The origins, from Bitcoin mining to AI infrastructure. IREN began life in New South Wales, Australia, incorporated on November 6, 2018 as Iris Energy. The co-founders are Daniel Roberts and William Roberts, who also serve as co-chief executive officers and executive directors. In its early days, the company focused on Bitcoin mining using 100% renewable energy, and operations began on a small scale in British Columbia, Canada. On November 17, 2021, the company's ordinary shares began trading on the Nasdaq Global Select Market under the symbol IREN. The period immediately following the IPO was characterized by a rapid acceleration of expansion, operational growth, but also significant financial challenges. But then, disaster struck. The crypto winter of 2022 brought severe headwinds. In November 2022, two subsidiaries holding equipment loans backed solely by their machinery defaulted after the Bitcoin price crash, resulting in asset repossession and a major impairment charge recorded in 2023. IREN was bleeding badly. Despite the challenges, the company continued expanding in Canada and the US in Childress, Texas. Here's where things get interesting. At the end of fiscal year 2023, the company began its diversification toward AI cloud services by acquiring its first batches of NVIDIA H100 GPUs. In February 2024, the company began operating commercially as IREN, cementing its new identity as a diversified infrastructure player. Fiscal year 2025 results marked a turning point. IREN achieved its first full profitable year. The market validation for this pivot came in October/November 2025, when IREN signed a massive $9.7 billion multi-year contract with Microsoft to provide GPU cloud services. Daniel Roberts, co-CEO, commented that this solidifies IREN's position as a leading AI cloud services provider. The company is now aggressively targeting $3.4 billion in annualized recurring revenue from AI cloud by the end of 2026, which implies an enormous expansion. The company's growth has been primarily organic, through building its own data centers and massive investments in hardware and energy capacity. The business model. Bitcoin mining meets AI infrastructure. IREN's business model is in a critical transition phase, evolving from being a Bitcoin miner to a vertically integrated provider of high-performance computing infrastructure and AI cloud services. The core value proposition is using access to 100% renewable low-cost energy to provide intensive computational capacity in a sustainable and scalable manner. The business model is built on a dual revenue structure, where Bitcoin mining provides the base cash flow and AI cloud services drive future growth. IREN's product portfolio is distinctly split, reflecting its heritage and its future. Bitcoin mining. This segment has historically been the main revenue source. IREN operates large mining farms and generates revenue by solving Bitcoin network blocks and receiving Bitcoin rewards. The company then regularly sells these mined Bitcoins to convert them into fiat income, USD dollars. This segment contributed 97% of the company's revenue for fiscal year 2025, underscoring its continued importance as the cash-generating foundation. AI Cloud Services High-Performance Computing. This is IREN's emerging growth engine. The company provides GPU computing capacity through a rental-as-a-service model and co-location for AI model training and inference. The company has the ambitious goal of reaching $3.4 billion in annualized recurring revenue from AI Cloud by the end of 2026. This segment contributed only 2.4% of total revenue for fiscal year 2025, reflecting that the AI Cloud Services business was still in a beta phase. Bare metal service. IREN focuses on providing a bare metal service, direct access to hardware without a complex software orchestration layer. This model appeals to sophisticated developers, cloud providers, and hyperscalers because it gives them the flexibility to use their own orchestration. This differentiated offering is crucial for securing large contracts with tech giants who prefer maximum control over their infrastructure. Vertical integration is IREN's pillar, offering operational security and long-term cost control. The company owns or controls energy access. The company controls long-term energy access, 2.9 gigawatts of total secured capacity, with ultra-low average costs, as low as approximately $0.035 per kilowatt hour. This is arguably the single most important competitive advantage in the AI infrastructure world, where power costs are the biggest operational expense. Physical infrastructure. It owns the land and substations where its data centers are located, such as the massive Sweetwater hub with 2 gigawatts of potential. Operations. IREN designs and operates its own data centers, which are optimized for high density and liquid cooling, a necessity for the latest generation of powerful, heat-generating GPUs. They have achieved a significant defensive moat, especially by consolidating its position in the AI infrastructure sector. Vertical integration and access to 100% renewable, low-cost energy give it a cost advantage over most rivals. This translates to an effective cost per mined Bitcoin that's among the lowest in the sector, and a net electricity costs, a key metric used for competitor comparison, allowing them to maintain one of the lowest cost energy bases in the AI industry. Focusing on 100% renewable energy is not just a cost play, it is a strategic requirement for hyperscalers who face intense scrutiny and corporate mandates to reduce their carbon footprint. This sustainability focus is a powerful selling point that most competitors cannot match. The financials, from losses to profitability. The company experienced explosive revenue growth, especially in fiscal year 2025, marking a transition from massive losses to significant profitability. It's important to note that IREN reported under the International Financial Reporting Standards until fiscal year 2024 and switched to GAAP standards starting fiscal year 2025, which may affect metrics comparability, but the overall trend of growth and profit improvement is clear. Total revenue increased from $59 million in 2022 to $188 million in 2024 and $501 million in 2025. That's explosive. 165% growth the last couple of years. The jump in 2024 and the massive increase in 2025 demonstrate the effect of scaling operations, and crucially, the initial monetization efforts of the AI capacity. The transition from a high capex early-stage mining company to a profitable infrastructure provider is clearly visible in the operating metrics, passing from a loss of $153.9 million in 2023 to a profit of $17.3 million in 2025. After a big loss in 2023, IREN finally turned operationally profitable in 2025. A similar behavior we observed for net income, going from a loss of $419.8 million in 2022 to a profit of $86.9 million the last year. The company's growth momentum continued strongly into the first quarter of 2026. IREN reported revenue of $240.3 million, a 355% increase compared to the same quarter of the previous year. Net income reached a record $384.6 million, representing significant improvement compared to the net loss recorded in the same period last year, driven by unrealized accounting gains from Microsoft's prepayment. The financial transformation is remarkable, from losing hundreds of millions to generating significant profits in just a few years. Stock performance, the 670% rally. The behavior of IREN shares has been characterized by extreme volatility, marked by its dual nature as a Bitcoin mining company and more recently as an artificial intelligence infrastructure provider. The company's ordinary shares began trading on the Nasdaq Global Select Market in November 2021. Stock price behavior was severely affected by the 2022 crypto winter and the company's large accounting charges in its early years as a public company, including massive financial losses in 2022 and loan default. The stock was crushed along with the entire crypto sector. However, stock price experienced a fundamental change and massive revaluation driven by its strategic pivot toward AI infrastructure, leading the stock to trade at much higher multiples. IREN's market revaluation accelerated in 2025. The shares rose dramatically, with a 672% increase in the 12 months prior to November 2025. News of the $9.7 billion five-year contract with Microsoft in October-November 2025 acted as the main recent catalyst driving the stock price. After the contract announcement, the stock rose 22% in pre-market activity, reaching a price of $74.15. Positive Q1 2026 results reinforced confidence in its growth strategy. By late 2025, IREN's valuation reflects high expectations for its future growth, positioning it as a high-growth AI infrastructure player. The stock trades at high multiples. Forward price to earnings 110.7 versus sector median of 31. Forward enterprise value sales 14.3 versus sector median of 3.5. Forward enterprise value EBITDA 19.8 versus sector median of 15. This is above the traditional sector average. Valuation is considered rich compared to the traditional sector, but justified if IREN successfully monetizes its AI-ready sites. Investors generally maintain strongly optimistic sentiment, driven by its successful strategic pivot toward artificial intelligence infrastructure, citing its lower-cost energy base with 100% renewable energy. This cost advantage is key, as computing capacity and energy are AI bottlenecks. However, they also cite risks that must be taken into account, particularly execution risk. The risks. Execution is everything. Massive CapEx execution risk. The company has assumed significant execution risk with the $5.8 billion GPU expansion plan and Sweetwater hub construction. Any misstep in deployment, integration, or client acquisition could result in severe financial consequences. Any delay in hardware delivery or in energizing the Sweetwater 1 substation could cause cost overruns and materially affect the recurring AI revenue target. A delay in this project would paralyze projected AI capacity growth and jeopardize IREN's ability to meet its $3.4 billion annualized recurring revenue target by the end of 2026. Bitcoin price volatility. Although the company is in transition, its current revenue and cash flow still depend mostly on Bitcoin mining. A sustained drop in the price of Bitcoin would negatively impact the company's cash generation capacity and potentially limit its ability to fund the aggressive AI expansion. Accelerated technology obsolescence risk. The massive GPU hardware investment is vulnerable to NVIDIA's accelerated release cycles. Every 2 to 3 years, there's a new generation. IREN depends on medium-term service contracts to amortize this investment quickly. We cannot forget the competitive landscape. The company operates in a highly competitive market, where it faces off against established giants and specialized newcomers. Some of the main competitors. CoreWeave specializes purely in GPU cloud, no energy assets or mining. It's the private leader in the GPU cloud niche and has a software moat, having secured large contracts with Microsoft and OpenAI. However, it doesn't have IREN's own renewable energy advantage and depends on utility providers, resulting in higher operating costs. Currently trades at multiples of forward enterprise value to sales of 12.9 and enterprise value EBITDA of 20.3. Applied Digital. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Focuses on the hosting model where the client assumes CapEx and GPU obsolescence risk. However, its hosting focus means Applied Digital receives a service fee, but operating margins are significantly lower than what IREN seeks to obtain as GPU owner. Also trading at significantly higher multiples with forward enterprise value to sales of 31.47 and forward enterprise value EBITDA of 154.19. And Nebius Group. Distinguished by offering a vertically integrated AI workload platform, giving it a software layer moat, superior to IREN's pure-play infrastructure. However, also trading at high multiples. Enterprise value to sales of 47.55. So here's the bottom line on IREN. This is a fascinating case of strategic metamorphosis that went from being a struggling Bitcoin miner facing bankruptcy during the crypto winter to landing a $9.7 billion contract with Microsoft and becoming one of the hottest AI infrastructure players in the market. The transformation is remarkable, from $59 million in revenue in 2022 to $501 million in 2025. The growth plan is aggressive, but, and this is critical, the execution risk is enormous. They're committing $5.8 billion in CapEx to buy GPUs. They need to energize massive infrastructure on tight timelines. The valuation reflects perfection. IREN is no longer a small niche miner. It is a utility-scale infrastructure provider aiming to be one of the critical picks and shovels for the largest AI players in the world. For investors, this is a high-risk, high-reward play on the AI infrastructure boom. If they execute, if Sweetwater energizes on time, if they deploy the GPUs successfully, if Microsoft scales its usage, this could be a multi-bagger from current levels. But if they stumble on execution, if Bitcoin crashes and strains cash flow, this premium valuation could compress violently. So what do you think? Is IREN the next great AI infrastructure winner, or is this valuation pricing in too much perfection? Are you bullish or bearish? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your perspective. And if you found this deep dive valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to the Capital Navigator. We analyze companies like this every week, giving you the insights you need to understand today's market. Thanks for watching, and until the next video,